Ah, sheep, 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 sheep. Ah, sheep, 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 sheep. Don't touch it. Just leave it. Just leave it. Ah, sheep, 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 sheep. Ah, sheep, 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 sheep. Ah, sheep, 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 sheep. Ah, sheep, 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 sheep. Ah, sheep, sheep. One place you can buy sheep bells is at a place called Bell Outlet, and I'll put a link down in the description to this site. They have all different kinds of bells, different size bells, and the different sizes will give you different tones. And so if you're a musician, you want to have as many different tones as possible, or even like a pentatonic scale. They also have a video clip that lets you hear the sound of the bells before you buy them. But my go-to place is always Premier One. They have a lot of good sheep equipment. One of the bells I've tried there is this Ram or Billy bell. It gives a really good tone. It's expensive, about $13, but to have one or two of those in your flock is really an awesome thing. The only negative thing about this bell is the weight of it. It weighs 0.8 pounds, or a little bit more than 3/4 of a pound. And what I noticed is that it can pull enough on the collar to actually rub a raw spot in the top of the sheep's neck. And that can happen with any bell, any kind of collar. Just be careful with these heavier bells. I try and keep them under 1/2 pound if possible. This long distance bell is another good bell I've used for at least 10 or 12 years now. And it weighs about 0.41 of a pound, a little bit less than half. And so it comes out even better on the weight. And one of my favorite bells is the Swiss bell. It's a little bit expensive, but it has a nice, high, clear tone to it. It's just beautiful, the sound it makes. And if I could buy a bunch more of those, I would. It weighs in at 1/2 pound, which is a good, small, light enough weight to work. There are some other places on the internet where you can buy this bell and even bigger ones. They're usually more expensive, and the larger bells weigh much more. They're much more suited for cattle than they are for sheep. This steel bell is a real workhorse. They last forever, pretty much. And they make more of a thunk than they do a high bell chime, but they'll just be there forever. You'll never have to replace anything on this bell, including the clapper. I've had these for like 12, 13 years, and they work just perfect even today. And they're lightweight. They weigh only like 1/3 of a pound, so they're just perfect for a lot of good reasons. To attach the bells to the sheep, Premier sells these bell collars, and I've used those for at least 12 years, and they look the same as the day I bought them. They just seem to never wear out. The only problem I've ever had with these bell collars is that the longer ones that are like 30 inches long, even on the smallest size possible, tightened up as much as possible, they seem to slip over the top of the sheep's head. So I'd recommend the 26-inch long collars, at least for the St. Croix sheep. If you have a much larger animal, you might need a larger collar. Premier also sells this Polychain and clip just for the neck tags. It's not meant for bells because it's very lightweight. It's meant to break if it gets a lot of pressure put on it, so that's not what you want to use. At least not this Polychain. Now my friend who's a third generation farmer, he goes down to Lowe's and he buys the most heavy duty Polychain he can, and then he puts clips on it. And with the Polychain and the clips from Lowe's, he ends up with a very inexpensive collar for all of his sheep, and really adds up when you get up to like 100 head of animals. You want to put tags on them around their neck so you can see it. This is a pretty good solution. After about 10 years of use, the clapper will actually break and fall out of almost any of these bells. And so the way I fix it is I'll use some wire, because the wire is not very strong that holds the clapper inside the bell. And so the best wire possible is the wire they use for a T-clip for your T-post, a clip for your T-post. And I'll open up a bag of those and bend them, and then insert them into the loop inside the center of the bell, and then try and close that down with a pair of channel locks. And honestly, the T-clip wire is so heavy it would almost work as a clapper just on its own, because it is so absolutely heavy. It just takes a lot of work to get it on there, but once you get that in there for a bell that just doesn't work anymore, then it's gonna sound a whole lot better. So after you loop it and bend it, you cut the excess wire off, and then you take some washers, and you use that for your clapper, and you loop that over the loop. Then you crimp the wire over the washers, and well, a little bit more work here, and you're back in business. Thanks for watching the video.